All right, so we're going to look at least common multiple today. So first let's talk about what multiples are. So for instance, multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Because 5 is a factor of each of these numbers, we're simply counting by 5. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3 is 15, and so on and so forth for infinity. Some multiples of 7, for instance, are 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, and 42. 7 is a factor of each of those numbers. So I'm going to give you two numbers, and we have to determine what is a common multiple of these two numbers. And in fact, what is the least common multiple of these two numbers? So let's start with 12 and 30. So what is the smallest number that both 12 and 30 are both factors of? So there's a method that we can go about in trying to find the answer. First, we're going to start with prime factorization. If you forgot how to do that, you might need to go back and review. But we're going to take 12 and break it apart into its primes. So start dividing it by the smallest prime. That's a factor, which is 2, which gives us 6. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and we are done. So over here, I'm going to write 12 equals 2 times 2 times 3. So don't forget to include each of those numbers. Let's do the same thing with 30. So 30, and then I draw my half box. 2 is also a factor of 30, goes into 30 15 times. 2 is not a factor of 15, so we go to our next prime, which is 3. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So over here, I write 30 equals 2 times 3 times 5. So don't forget all three numbers. All right, so let's go over here, and if you've done GCF like this, it's a little bit different than GCF. We don't look for pairs, we look for winners. So notice I have a factor of 2, 3, and 5 listed over here. So first let's look at our 2's. Who has the most 2's? Does 12 have the most 2's, or does 30? Well, 12 has the most. It has 2 2's, 30 only has 1 2. So 12 is the winner, so you circle all of the 2's that 12 has. Now look at your 3's. Who has the most 3's, 12 or 30? Well, 12 has 1 and 30 has 1, so it's a tie. So you just pick a winner. Doesn't matter which. I'm going to let 30 be the winner. So circle the 3 that the 30 has. And then 5's. Who's the winner of the 5's? Well, 12 doesn't have any 5's in its prime factors, but 30 does. So circle the 5 in the 30 list of factors. So then to find the LCM, the least common multiple, simply write down every number you circled. 2 2's, 1 3, and 1 5. Multiply those together. 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 is 60. And that is my final answer. 12 is a factor of 60, and 30 is a factor of 60. It's the smallest number that's a multiple of each. All right, let's try number 2. Let's try an easy one, 6 and 8. So I'm going to start with my 6, find its prime factors. 2 is a factor of 6, it goes in 3 times, and I'm done with that. Over here, 6 equals 2 times 3. Now 8, 2 is a factor of 8, it goes into 8 4 times. We can separate 4 into 2 times 2. So 8 equals 2 times 2 times 2. Again, remember, I'm looking for the winners. So I have 2's and 3's in my list over here. Who has the most 2's, 6 or 8? Well, 8 clearly has the most 2's. It has 3 2's, so circle all those 2's. Who has the most 3's? Well, 6 has the most 3's because 8 doesn't have any, so circle that 3. Then I write LCM. Write down every number you circled. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 is 24. That's the least common multiple of 6 and 8. All right, let's try one more together. All right, so for number 2, when we had 6 and 8, you could probably have done that in your head. 24 is a factor of 6 and is a factor of 8. This one's a little bit harder to do in your head. 20 and 32. The least common multiple is going to be a large number. So let's start. 20 can be divided by 2, which gives us 10. 10 can be divided by 2, that gives us 5. You know you are finished when the last number is a prime. 2 times 2 times 5. 5 was a prime at the end, so that tells me I'm done with my prime factorization. Let's try 32. 2 is a factor of 32, gives us 16. 2 is a factor of 16, it gives us 8. 2 is a factor of 8, it gives us 4. 2 is a factor of 4, and it gives us a 2. So 32 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I think we found our winner for the 2's. All right, so the winner for the 2's is 32. 32 has the most 2's listed as factors. And then for 5's, 20 has the most 5's. It has 1 5. So LCM, least common multiple, write down every number you circled. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 is 160. And that is your final answer. 20 is a factor of 160 and 32 is a factor of 160. So that is how you use prime factorization to find the least common multiple of 2 or more numbers.